this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta does battle with the legendary hitman Hito and his devastating time skip technique. Things are not looking good for Universe 7 because it just so happens that Hito is incredibly powerful and basically makes Vegeta look like a punk in this week's episode, which is really surprising because they've been really building Vegeta up a lot over the last couple of episodes, especially in the earlier parts of Dragon Ball Super, almost hinting at the fact that Vegeta might have finally surpassed Goku in terms of power. And you know what? I still believe that Vegeta is a little more powerful than Goku. The only difference is, I think that Goku is a better fighter. I think he's more competent in the art of martial arts, and we really get to see that in this week's episode, because not only does Vegeta get to fight against Hito, but at the very end, Goku finally gets his shot, and what that means, of course, is that Vegeta does lose in this episode, but he definitely gives it his all. The thing is, Hito has this special ability which is known as the time skip, where basically he can sort of freeze time or travel forward in time incredibly quick, and he'll come from just about any direction. This combined with his weird ability that when he hits you, it causes this key explosion to come from your body, which can be incredibly devastating, especially when he goes for a vital hit. And he does that to Vegeta multiple times in this episode, where it almost looks like he isn't even touching him half the time. He goes into this really awesome fighting pose, and then just sort of teleports around Vegeta, almost looking as if he misses him, but every single time he does this, a blast of energy ends up coming out from Vegeta. His head, his chest, his face, just all over the place. Hito just completely rocks Vegeta's world in this episode. He doesn't even land a single attack on him. I think my favorite scene from this episode is when Hito put his hands in his pocket and Vegeta started to power up and get ready to hit him with a ki blast, when suddenly Hito just got right next to him and punched him right in the side, which of course had a big explosion come from his body. It was really impactful and just plain badass. I don't want to say that Hito is a villain, he just happens to be one hell of a fighter. I mean, he is a hitman, he does kill people for money, but I want to learn a little bit more about this character, and I have a feeling we're going to get there when Goku does battle with him, because after Vegeta is defeated by Hito, that's when Goku decides to get into the ring, and he isn't even going to go full power yet. He's decided that he wants to sort of test out his abilities and see what the deal is with Hito's ability to use his time skip move. And this is a really great moment because, one, the animation here is really fantastic. The artwork is a little iffy, I do have to admit, but a lot of the movement from Goku is really damned awesome looking. And we have to realize that he has not even gone Super Saiyan or even Super Saiyan Blue. And there's this great moment when he finally starts to predict exactly what Hito is doing, knowing that as soon as he starts to flash, he's going to teleport in a location that's sort of completely random, and he has to sort of predict where that's going to happen. So he starts to parry his abilities, and he even ends up leaving a scratch right on his face, which causes him to bleed, which presumably pisses Hito right the hell off. Especially because Hito already wants Goku to go ahead and transform and go full power anyway. He wants this guy to go all out so he can take him out immediately. This way he can fight against Monaka. And in this week's episode, we might have let it slip that Monaka is not as powerful as he's letting on. So if Monaka really isn't all that powerful, the only way that we're going to get out of this tournament is if Goku actually manages to defeat Hito. And if anybody is going to have that chance, it looks like it is going to be Goku at this point. And if it goes in that direction, I have to admit I am a little miffed, especially because Goku was already technically kind of defeated in the tournament, even though, you know, Frost was cheating, however. But they decided to bring him back in, and I was really sort of hoping that Monaka was actually going to bring the pain, like there might have been a twist with his character, but you can even see from Monaka's reactions in this episode that he probably is not as powerful as he's letting on. This is pretty much all a plan from Beerus to sort of try and bolster Vegeta and Goku's strength, and they'll let them know, oh man, there could actually be someone out there who's more powerful than us right now. We've really got to strut our stuff at this tournament. So I really cannot wait to see how it's all going to wrap up, especially if this fight's just going to be at the end of the next episode, or if it's going to extend in any of the other ones. I tend not to try and look at any of the spoilers from the previews, because I just want to see how this is all going to unfold. That being said, I'm really excited for the battle between Goku and Hito. I think it's going to be one of the best battles from Dragon Ball Super. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super? I'm so glad we finally got to learn a little bit more about Hito's powers, the time skip. I've been really wondering, like, what his deal was, especially looking at the preview for this episode. Initially, looking at it when he was fighting against Vegeta, I thought his arms were crossed the entire time, and you couldn't actually see how he was attacking, but no, he actually was just in a normal fighting stance. It's just he would sort of, like, go for all of the vital spots on Vegeta's body, and I thought that was really clever, and the fact that Vegeta couldn't even predict him when he was moving around, or that scene where he's getting ready to hit him with a big ki blast, and then boom, he just gets right up into his face, just, that was really satisfying right there, and probably a big humility moment for Vegeta as well, just reminding him there is always a bigger fish out there. And like I was saying earlier, I really do think Vegeta is, like, just a tad bit stronger than Goku at the moment, but when it comes to composure during, like, a martial arts fight, especially one that's, like, in a tournament setting, I really do believe that Goku has the edge. He's, like, the king when it comes to that type of stuff, so I really can't wait to see what he's going to pull out in the next episode, especially because the preview is indicating that he's going to have a brand new technique. That's right. Goku is finally going to have a new technique that we have not seen in the series, and hopefully it's not just another bland variant of the Kamehameha. I really hope it's going to be something unique. The preview for the next episode looks like it's going to be explosively awesome, so let's get ready for that. As it stands, the last couple episodes of Dragon Ball Super have just been fantastic. The battle with Vegeta, the battle with Kabe, and now that we got Hito in action, things have really progressed. I really wish they could have given more attention to, say, Batomo, and I think Frost was pretty cool, but the way that they changed his character was slightly disappointing. That being said, I really think the series is sort of like on an upstride right now. I think it is getting better, but there are some negatives to this episode. I have to admit, there are just some moments where the artwork just looks wrong, or it just looks iffy. Whether it's moments where Vegeta is just getting knocked around, or some of the weird moments with Goku where he just doesn't have a lot of detail to him. That being said, there's still a lot of speed and impact behind a lot of the attacks. I liked the way Goku was moving at the end of the episode, but there were just some moments that just didn't look all that great. This is a series which has so much potential to be one of the greatest action anime series of all time, but Toei certainly likes taking a lot of back steps when it comes to animating their series. For them, it's about selling the merchandise first and making a pretty decently animated series second. And you can definitely tell that when you watch Dragon Ball Super. But even with that, at the end of the day, the series is entertaining as hell and still one of my favorite anime series of all time. I love getting to see my characters in a brand new setting, and I like getting to see them evolve and change, especially the character of Vegeta, who I really feel has gone through the most changes in this series. And brand new villains and brand new adversaries are always a really good thing, and there have been some great ones in this arc, and Hito is already turning into one of the greatest, like, villains slash adversaries that we've ever seen from Dragon Ball, so I can't wait to see more from his character, especially in his climactic battle with Goku. It looks like it's going to be damned awesome. So I loved this episode right here. Like I said, there were some moments that were a little iffy. That being said, I thought this was a really entertaining and action-packed episode of Dragon Ball Super, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Check it out, Dragon Ball fans. You're definitely going to see some cool moments from this week's episode. But if any of you guys did watch this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. What did you think of the battle between Vegeta and Hito? What do you think of Hito's ability, the time skip? Do you think there's a little bit more to it than we realize? Do you think he's not even really going like full power quite yet? Is he going to reveal some other secret technique against Goku in the next fight? And what do you want to see from their battle in the coming episode and the rest of Dragon Ball Super? Make sure to tell me in the comment section below. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure to follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.